Hello and welcome to the Mariana Dalto Show, the podcast where small business owners share their stories, insights, and strategies for success. I'm your host, Mariana Dalto, and our guest today is Mai Liis Kivistik. She's an advocate for holistic wellness and natural beauty. She's a natural path founder of Mai Liis Skincare, I hope I said that right, and a yoga at the face yoga instructor. Mai has earned awards like Educator of the Year in Estonia, and she promotes a whole body approach to well-being and beauty. Welcome, Mai, to the show.
Welcome, and thank you for having me.
Absolutely, happy to have you. All right, Mai, let's talk about first. Tell us about your journey and how did you start your business, and why did you decide to start this business in wellness?
Happy to, but it goes back long because since the age of 6, I did 10 years of competitive ballroom dancing, which meant only training and competing, and everything else was behind, even studying sometimes. But somehow I managed. And my idea was that I will go to study in Denmark choreography because dancing was what I was good at. But I'm sure as many of you who listens knows that if you do high competitive sports, then the injuries come sooner or later. So the same happened with me. So my leg actually needed a surgery. And I remember vividly, I was 16 at that time. It was like a half a lifetime ago. But I still remember how I was crying and trying to understand how is that possible? I'm training, this is healthy, I'm eating healthy, and my body still doesn't hold up. So that was actually first time when I was thinking about the health in general. How can things like this happen? And of course, it took me some more time to get well, go to the university, which I actually chose to study IT, totally different field, but
Very different.
really different. But in my head, it made sense because there's money at least. I can earn some money. That was the only idea. But I suffered through the university because I didn't like it at all. I finished it, but I wouldn't do it again. However, yeah, from there, I actually went to event management. So I worked about 5 years in event management companies, and I was creating events throughout the world. So it was really stressful and fun as well, but more stressful. So it led me to hyperthyroidism, which meant like I was burnt out and I got diagnosed. And from that point, it was another shock for me. Like I was under 30. By then, I was like 26. And the doctor told me that now you will take hormones for the rest of your life. So it was like another shock. And by that time, I was actually part-time yoga teacher because I always loved yoga. I was just not sure how to pursue it because Estonia is really tiny and we already have a lot of yoga teachers here. So I was doing it part-time, but I'm sure whoever has been doing yoga regularly knows that your body starts to tell you like, nope, we don't drink coffee anymore. We don't like sweets. We don't like alcohol. We don't like meat. And when I got to the part we don't like meat, I was scared because in Estonia we have 4 seasons, which means half of them doesn't have enough sunlight to actually get good vitamins from tomatoes and cucumbers, etc. So I went to study herbs for me to understand what else can I put mixed with my food. I still eat meat, don't get me wrong. I don't think you can be vegan in Estonia, but in some other countries it's possible, right? Here it's just difficult. And from that, just learning from me, I realized that the herbs that you see first or everywhere, they have a message for you. So I had this diagnosis at the same time, and the herb that I saw was celandine, and it was a bit surprising because celandine is regular wheat, just with the orange juice. But if I look deeper, it meant it's natural iodine. And who knows any issues with thyroid means that usually there's lack of iodine. So for me, that was already like Eureka moment. I was like, oh my God, this herbs is speaking with me. And at the same time, again, one of my friends asked me to make a cream for her because she knew I was studying herbs. She had psoriasis over like 10 plus years, and she was tired of different medicines. She was just like, okay, you study herbs, do something. And for me, it was a good challenge. I was just thinking, yes, let's play with herbs because I didn't have a plan. But with my first ointment, actually, she got results with 1.5 weeks. And that was the first moment when I realized nothing was just happening. Everything happened to lead me to the point where herbs combined with cosmetics turned out to be my skincare line. And I didn't want it to just to be like another pharmacy product because if you say that it heals psoriasis, it's usually pharmacy. It's not like everyday use. But I wanted to bring botanical herbs to everyday use. So I did some other products that are everyday, like scrub, oil, cleanser, deodorant, basically everything you need to take care of your skin. And when I tested on the test group, all the users got really good results. So for me, it already made sense. Okay, let's launch a brand. And it wasn't like I was sitting and thinking, what will I do with my life or what will be the next business I will build? It's just sort of happened with my thyroid issue, with my friend asking advice, with me going to study herbs. And now there's a skincare.
Excellent. Okay, so you started with the skincare products, studying herbs and trying to find, so what led you now? Because I know one of the big conversations that I had with Mai was about face yoga, because I wanted really to talk about this during this show. So what led you to specialize in face yoga and also herbal remedies? And is that connected to each other in somehow?
Yes, really good question. I actually learned really fast that you can't only use skincare to be fully shining and loving your skin and reducing wrinkles because this is combined. You need to also train the muscles. It's the same with the body. You can go to the gym, but you still need a body oil to keep your skin moist. So with the face, it's even more drastic because we have gravitation that pulls everything down. And if you know a bit of anatomy or you want to Google it, you can see that under the cheeks, there's different muscles, many of them. So if you don't train the muscles, what happens is that everything falls down. And often we can see like saggy skin here and the corners of the mouth go down. And this really happens with most of the ladies, male as well. But I know ladies are more into this beauty world. So I'm going to speak more with you, right? But the idea is that if you train the muscle, even like maybe you can take this tip to go from this podcast, try to keep a small smile on your face at all times, like tiny, tiny smile. And maybe even think that you smile with the back teeth. It's a weird feeling, but if you engage your cheek muscles, it means that they are trained, toned all the time. So less influenced by the gravitation. And next to the cheeks, there's eye muscles. They're connected. So if the cheeks are up, the eyes are up as well. It's of course not that drastic that you see that your face is lifted 10 times, but you see the difference and you feel the difference. And then if you apply good skincare, you can look perfect up to 100 years old. I can guarantee it. It doesn't mean now that you don't have wrinkles. Don't get me wrong. We will get wrinkles. This is part of life. But it's up to us how deep they are, how visible they are, and how beautiful they can look.
Okay. So you started selling the products, the skincare products, and then you started approaching yoga on top of the products, right? So you can combine, so then people get more benefits from the combination of both. Is that right?
Exactly. And the reason why face yoga actually came was because before at all, I was already a yoga teacher. And from the practices, I saw what yoga can do with even really stiff muscles. Like, let's say, guys who go to the gym, they are really the muscles are so short because they have been training a lot. But now if you come to yoga, you can see how you can open up the muscles and you can actually stretch them. So when I was doing the skincare line, it hit me that the same happens with the face, right? For example, the forehead, frontalis muscle. Who watches a lot of podcasts, for example, can see that some people speak like that. Other people try to freeze it, right? And the thing is, you don't want to speak with the forehead because there's a lot of wrinkles and you can stretch your eye muscle if you move it a lot. So it's all connected again, like too tight muscles or too loose muscles. It doesn't matter if it's on your body or on your face. So it just made so much sense to combine these two. I know it's a lot of work. And maybe some of the listeners will ask, okay, how many hours per day do I need to practice? And when do I see the results? But the answer is that when you start, you will do it forever, right? Until the end of your life, because this is training. Now, you don't have to worry that you will do it like hours a day or a week. Just 10 to 15 minutes in the morning or in the evening is enough. Just do it every day. And you will see results now, a bit depending on your genetics and your soft tissue. But within 3 months, if you do it every day in 3 months, you can see the difference. But to see that, you need to make a photo from your face today and then after every month, so you can actually track the changes. Otherwise, if we look ourselves from the mirror, we look the same every day. We don't see what has changed. So this is the best way to actually see what has changed.
Okay. Okay. And then is there misconceptions that people have about face yoga or the mix of yoga with the products that you offer? Anything that people like maybe they think, oh, this way, but it's actually you can provide more guidance or know really why this helps? Is there any misconceptions there?
Yes, there's like different exercises that they believe that face yoga is super easy. But when they start to engage different muscles, they are surprised. Oh my God, I didn't know I had this kind of muscle or that kind of feeling. Or the other side is the tension we actually carry in the cheekbones. Like maybe you know somebody who can sleep and then grind the teeth in the sleep, right? This means that there's crazy lot of tension in the cheek. So we need to release it. There's different points that you can apply pressure to and release it. Sometimes there can be people who can't even touch it. It's so stiff and painful. Just because we want to be super polite, we don't say anything, we grind the teeth and the tension stays here, right? So I think the misconception usually is that face yoga is just like doing some stupid faces. But actually it's heavy muscle training. And sometimes if you start, it's just 5 seconds per exercise and you are already tired.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, even if you try to laugh or sometimes when you're like having so much fun and you start laughing and laughing, your cheeks hurt from laughing because it's just like so much. I mean, you're moving,
Exactly.
the muscles a lot. So
That's the same thing. Yeah. You engage the muscles and you feel it. And sometimes it can be like you do a session because I say let's do 10 to 15 minutes a day. But usually, if I make like a personal plan to the customer, it takes about 1 hour. Of course, we speak in the middle, but we train, let's say, half of that. So if you haven't used your face muscles before, it can easily be that the next day you feel like, oh my God, there's pain because muscles have been trained.
yeah. And then I think you mentioned also that we keep emotions in our cheek area, right?
Yeah.
So tell us a
That
little bit more about that. Yeah.
That is actually same if we look at regular yoga, then I'm sure you have heard that we keep our emotions in the hips. So the mirror in the face is the cheek area. So you can even find the point. If you're listening, then open up your mouth and then move a bit away from your ear. There's a lower spot where your index finger can fit in, and just apply pressure to both sides. You can bring your mouth open and closed. And when you do small circles here, you either feel super good or you feel super painful. Most of the people feel just odd here. But this odd feeling means that you need to do this kind of movement or massage at least 2 weeks. It can be a minute a day or 2 minutes, how much time you have whatsoever, but just try to release the tension, because otherwise it can lead up to your tension headaches, because next to this muscle, masseter here, is temporalis. So if masseter is pulled together or pressed together, it just makes extra tension to your temporalis. And this is the main spot for the tension headaches, which again, a lot of doctors say that nobody knows why they happen. But one reason can be that too much emotions in your cheeks. So release them, and also maybe try to think that if you communicate with people, maybe don't hold up all the opinions you have inside you. Sometimes it's okay to communicate them out. Otherwise, it can be that it piles up here. And then, of course, one version is the tension headaches, but it can be also problems with your teeth or your dictation or even snoring during nighttime. So it can all be caused because here is tension.
So I guess if you do face yoga, it'll help you release some of the tension that you have all around your face, and it'll help. And I think you mentioned something with eyesight as well, right?
Yeah, people don't want to believe it, but you can actually keep your eyesight at the level you have, or make it better. I'm not going to say that doing face yoga exercises, you will remove your glasses, because this is too much bold statement. But I have a lot of customers who have done eye exercises 2 weeks, and they have got weaker glasses. And it's not that they do like full day filled with exercises. It's again like 5 to 10 minutes a day, different exercises, and the results come. Because with eyesight, the issue is that nowadays we are looking only close. We have the mobile screen, we have the computer screen, maybe television, but we don't look far and close. The swapping of these is super important. Like let's say 100 years ago, we maybe grew some potatoes on the field, right? So we went there, we looked to the potato, we looked to the forest to see if everything is okay, but not anymore. And that is the reason why the muscles behind your eye are a bit lazy. And they are a bit lazy already, really young age. So a lot of kids have glasses. And I would really recommend, if you are a parent, let your kid walk to school, or let her be outdoors more. So she needs to look different distances. Otherwise, if you just drive them with car, they don't need to look. And the back muscles are weak. Of course, aesthetically, we want this front muscle also be toned. We don't want the eyelid to be swollen or move down, or lower lid also move under your eye. But in my mind, with face yoga, even the more important parts are the back muscles, to keep them strong and to keep our eyesight good.
And then, every business owner is stressful, is stressed out. There's stress every day for something, right? So in your personal opinion, based on your experience, how do you maintain balance between running your business and then practicing this holistic health daily and having the stress on a daily basis from running a business? What can you talk about that?
Well, definitely, I think both yoga and face yoga are super important because there's breathing involved, there's my time involved. So I will book the time for me. But also, I think the big shift came in when I decided to do breaks throughout my day. So I can work until late night, start in the morning and work until late evening, but I like to do breaks. Let's say I start from 8:30 in the morning, then at 12 I will do a break. I like to drink my dandelion root coffee, because it's not really a coffee, but it's like my time. I will do half an hour break, sometimes even an hour, because I have two dogs that I can go walk as well. Then I do another 4 to 5 hours, more like four. I try to keep it four, but sometimes, things happen. Then I do another break, either yoga or again walking. So I try to give me some breathers. And I started actually last year, in the end of last year, So I can really see how this has enhanced my productivity and my brain power, and of course my health as well. So I don't catch a cold at this speed that I could do before, because catching a cold for me meant that I was overdoing it.
Okay. Yeah. So taking breaks could be inside or outside, depending on the weather where you live, but having a mental break from work, so then you can, kind of like get back to balance and, back to
Yeah,
normal, like your state, your being, right?
exactly. And sometimes if I go outside, I get an answer to a question that maybe in the morning was super difficult, but just changing the location helped me see it in another angle, and the results came a lot faster.
And then in your experience, what has been the most effective way to grow your brand? I mean, I don't remember how long you've been in business, but what have you done that really help you, stay, you know, up into what's coming within your industry and, keep growing your business?
I think it started from the beginning. So far, it has been 5 years, but in the beginning, I wrote down my values, and I have never stepped away from the values. So, of course, I have built a bit of personal branding behind my brand because my background is herbalism, and I want to share it through articles, media, blog posts. So also, if you can get this free information, it's so much better and more confident to purchase products, because you know that this brand is not only in it for money, but this brand actually wants to provide holistic health and support your skin health. And I think this is the most important thing, because looking how the world is going so fast, and how like fast market products are taking it over, if you have the values placed, you find the right customers, and these are the loyal customers. They don't vanish because they know you are good, you are open, you are speaking about everything that is related to the products and the business, and then they trust you more.
Mm. And then I think you wanted to offer like a free resource. Can you talk about that for people so they can learn more about you and how you can help
Yes,
them?
happy to, because sometimes it's crazy difficult to understand what should I do, which products to use, or where to go to know more, because we all want to be beautiful, not only to look good, but also feel confident, right? And I will share a PDF. There's 10 different points that you can do and use also different products to enhance yourself, basically. And this is completely for free. Just use it and shine. That is my request for you.
Okay, excellent. So I will put that resource in the show notes for you guys to grab that and start learning about how you can improve your life with face yoga or anything else that can help you. And Mai has many other workshops and things that she does to help people. So before we wrap up, can you tell the listeners how they can learn more about you and your business? Where do they can find you?
Yeah, you can go to myvistic.eu. Mai is my name. W is like witchcraft, and istik in the end means actually a small herb in Estonian. So there's a meaning. But you can also connect with me on LinkedIn and ask directly if you have any questions, because I know this is a short episode. Maybe some things are confusing still. You would like to know some special questions, get some answers. Feel free to reach out to me, and I'm happy to help you.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Mai, for joining us today. Thank you to our listeners for tuning in as well. Hope you find this episode helpful to have a better health and approach your day-to-day differently with these practices. Thank you, Mai, for everything. I will put all the resources that Mai offer in the show notes, so you guys can reach out to her on social media or her website. Anything else that you want to add, Mai, before we end the show?
I think you asked already good questions, but maybe just to remind everybody, because we are speaking about business first, right? Always follow your heart. No matter what happens, don't overthink things. If your heart tells you to step somewhere, do something, do it, because magic happens there.
Thank you. That was so nice. Thank you, Mai. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. If you like this episode, please don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. And thank you, Mai, for your time. And thank you to the listeners, and see you next time.
Thank you.